This battle, Britain will lose. Hello, I'm Steve Forbes, and this is What's Ahead, where you get the insights you need to better navigate these turbulent times. To fight its most serious inflation in 40 years, Britain's so-called conservative government has just introduced a new budget overflowing with higher taxes. Britain's battle against inflation here is the economic equivalent of the ghastly trench warfare of World War I. Historians have pinned the label donkeys on the responsible generals, an appellation that unfortunately seems fit for the London architects of this program. Their premise is that to bring down inflation, you must make people poorer. That is, they believe too much economic activity causes the problem. What's so astonishing and disappointing is that after more than 3,000 years of experience with this deadly disease, governments remain so clueless as to how to cure it. The definition of inflation is basic: reducing the value of a currency, usually by creating too much of it. Prosperity doesn't cause inflation, devaluing the money does. What creates confusion is when prices rise because of market-disrupting events, like a natural disaster, a war, think Ukraine and energy, or the pandemic lockdowns that severely disrupted supply chains, bringing on shortages and higher prices. These price hikes can't be cured by monetary policy, but rather by letting the economy recover from such outside disruptions. Yet the British government is deliberately crushing its economy. But they are not alone. It is virtually holy writ among policymakers, most of them central bankers and economists, that prosperity causes inflation. London is just taking it to an unusual extreme. The tax increases are eye-popping, especially given the economy's precarious condition. No more indexing income tax brackets for inflation, a sneaky way to boost personal income taxes. Reducing the threshold for the 45% tax bracket to around $140,000, a similar income for a couple here in the U.S. is 24%. The corporate tax rate goes up from 19% to 25%, thereby throwing cold water on needed business investment. Tax-free deductions for dividends and capital gains are slashed, thereby punishing individual investors. At a time when Britain and the world need more oil and gas, its government is extending and raising a windfall profits tax, thereby discouraging exploration and development. To compound this folly, the so-called conservative government is reimposing a ban on fracking. British household incomes face their biggest decline in decades. Instead of imposing a policy of poverty, London should stabilize the value of the pound against a basket of currencies, including gold, and it should do what it did in the 1980s, cut taxes and regulation to encourage more production and boost productivity. What it and too many others are doing is applying unnecessary and politically costly pain. I'm Steve Forbes. Thanks for listening. Do send in your comments and suggestions, and I look forward to being with you soon again.